Hello, I'm Andrew Rainey and welcome to Kickstart This, where I'll be looking at some of the best video game crowdfunding projects that I've found in Kickstarter over the last few weeks, including WUPPO spin-off, WUPPO BREFT Festival Forever, dark 2D platformer Fall in the Last Light, isometric action-adventure game Spindle, animated visual novel A Night in KYOSAKA, musical narrative adventure NOTESTRUCK, and elemental JRPG Lux PRIMORA. Now, before I jump into the games on this episode, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far. I love being able to share crowdfunding projects and help bring the developers a little bit more exposure. So please make sure you're liking and sharing the videos, and if you haven't yet, please hit that big red subscribe button. And what an episode I have for you. There are so many good games on Kickstarter right now, and I'm going to try and squeeze them all in. Now, I'll be looking at the games in order of how long they have left on Kickstarter, starting with the shortest. I'll also be highlighting a game to avoid in CECIL, based on the CECIL hotel story. I do try and keep Kickstart This positive, but when I see a project that has a lot of red flags, I want to warn my fellow crowdfunders. So let's jump in. WUPPO BREFT Festival Forever is a follow-up to the adorable action-adventure game WUPPO, initially released in 2016. I recently bought the original on Switch, and it is an eccentric, wholesome, fun experience which I highly recommend. Now, rather than plumb for a straight-up sequel, Dutch developer Nuts and Perzig have, as you might expect if you're familiar with the game, done something completely different and random, and they've created a 2D 3 vs 3 multiplayer shooter with a Splatoon-esque twist. One side will be spraying dirt everywhere, while the other side will have to clean it away. Whichever side has the most points at the end wins the battle. Now, this has the charm of WUPPO combined with the frenzy of Splatoon or Smash Brothers. As with Nintendo's top-flight fighting game, WUPPO BREFT Festival Forever promises a huge roster of characters, with up to 60 so far and more on the way. Like Splatoon, there are different variations of weapons, each allowing for a different playing style and strategy. Also, like Nintendo's Paint Fest, there is a fully fleshed out story mode to tackle, separate from the main multiplayer game. On the multiplayer mode, just to mix things up, every match features a Norco, a large fluffy mountable creature which can be employed in a variety of useful ways. It can eat your opponents, it can move your spawn point to somewhere more advantageous, and it can also retrieve special rewards during the match. WUPPO BREFT Festival Forever looks fast, frenetic, and a whole lot of fun, but I haven't even scratched the surface of what this game has to offer. I would urge you all to watch the hilarious Kickstarter video to see all the additional content that the developers have in store. It's like they've taken every element of the game and said, how can we use this in a different, fun and exciting way? From leaderboards, minigames, to your own apartment where you chill between battles. There is also long-term support for the community, and there'll be weekly special games as well. For a copy of the game, you're looking at a pledge of €10 or more. This also gets you a digital wallpaper, Discord flare, and your name in the credits. However, because this is a 3-team game, there is a €30 tier where you get 3 game keys on Steam for you and 2 friends, a special Discord flare, plus the silver weapon skin. If you increase this to €45, all 3 of you get beta access and the gold weapon skin instead. Now, if you've ever wanted to design your own NPC, well, now you can for the reasonable pledge of €250. You also get the game character pack, soundtrack, and platinum weapon skin as well. However, if you have money to burn, check out the €2,500 tier, which lets you design your own minigame. Double this to €5,000 and you'll even get to design your own battle stage. Fall in the Last Light is a fantastic looking 2D platformer from Moonrider Studios based in Rome. They are looking to combine an immersive gaming experience with mental health awareness, which in this day and age is a very commendable aim. Players take control of Phil, who is trapped within the psychological prison of his own mind after an accident, where reality is warped by his imagination. Players will tackle the monsters and obstacles conjured by Phil's mind as he battles to wake up from his comatose state. I love the aesthetics of Fall in the Last Light. The characters are beautifully hand-drawn, yet the world they inhabit is grim and disturbing. Phil's oversized, vacant, blank eyes really give off a comic vibe, which is no surprise as game artist and developer David DeBellis studied at the International School of Comics in Rome. but from what we've seen so far, it's intriguing and it holds up well enough that I want to see more. Fall in the Last Light promises an action-packed storyline with a central mystery to unravel. There are also plenty of bad guys to defeat, and players can acquire different abilities and enhancements during the game that will help them unlock new areas and allow you to beat stronger bosses. Also, a shout out to Camilla D'Onofrio, who's composing the original score. There are a couple of snippets on SoundCloud which are just beautiful, and you can just tell from the sounds that there's been a lot of passion put behind this project. Now, for a copy of the game, you need to pledge €20 or more. You also get digital wallpaper pack with that and your name in the credits. However, I'd be upgrading to the €35 tier just to get a copy of that beautiful soundtrack that I mentioned. Now, if you, like me, like collecting things along with your pledge, take a look at the €100 tier. You get a digital copy of the game and the soundtrack along with a t-shirt, poster and a digital art book as well. However, if you have money to burn, there is a bonanza of goodies to be had at the €1,000 tier. For one, you get a vinyl copy of the soundtrack, you get a physical art book, you get a scarf from the game, 2 exclusive t-shirts, 2 posters and 2 digital copies of the game, plus all the other digital goodies as well. It is a bargain. Spindle is a top-down RPG where you play as Death, who's being followed around by a pig that issues commands and tells him what to do. With me so far? Good. You will explore the world trying to find the cause of a mysterious disease that is spreading across the land, while also trying to remember who you were before you woke up as Death incarnate. Let's Game Dev, the developers of Spindle, couldn't have timed their release any better, as Pig, a film that sees Nicolas Cage hunting for his lost pig, is being released next week. Is it a coincidence or is there a causality we cannot see? Anyway, but philosophical ponderings aside, Spindle looks amazing. If you love top-down Zelda games like Link to the Past or Link's Awakening, this is definitely one for you. You'll explore classic puzzle dungeons, search for your lost abilities, fight tricky bosses and help the villagers that you bump into along the way. And the best bit, the pig is playable too. There are also secret hidden enemies that launch fun and challenging minigames, so keep an eye out for them. Let's Game Dev are obviously a fan of retro games. With Spindle, they have created an RPG world that looks and feels alive. A world that is familiar to fans of the genre, but one that also has its unique flourishes. There are 5 different regions to explore, each with their own tale to tell. The other great thing about this game is that it has localised languages off the bat, including English, French, German, Italian, Spanish and Japanese. So for a copy of the digital game, you'll be looking to make a pledge of €12 or more. This also bags you beta access and a Discord role. However, if you double this to €30, you also get the Spindle soundtrack by Techo and your name mentioned in the in-game Kickstarter book. If you've ever wanted to honour someone in a game or simply mess with them, for a pledge of €120, you can get their name carved within a tombstone in the game. You also get all the previous rewards, plus an extra copy of the game too. Now from here the pledges jump to €1,500, where you get to design a house and an NPC within the game. You also get 5 copies of the game to share amongst your friends and family. A Night in KYOSAKA is a visual novel that hails from Skyride Studios, who will transport you to a world ruled by cats, dogs, warlocks and spirits. Players are cast as a 10-year-old who must navigate this strange world while searching for their missing puppy. Throughout the game you'll need to make a series of choices which will ultimately affect the ending that you arrive at, so you can take this adventure several times and have different outcomes. I don't really play many visual novels, but this one caught my eye because of the beautiful character designs. You can customise your character's name and gender, and once you're on an adventure you can wear disguises to fit in this new mysterious animal kingdom. I suspect it's aimed towards a younger crowd, but I'm a big child at heart who loves cats and dogs. One aspect that often puts me off visual novels is the voice acting, but Skyride already have a solid cast lined up, and you can hear them in the demo which is available in their Kickstarter page. Even in its early state, the game looks really polished, so it would be great to see this reach its funding goal. Now for a digital copy of the game and your name in the credits, then you're looking at a pledge of $15. For an extra $5, you'll also get a copy of the soundtrack by the band Demon Eye Death. For a pledge of $50, you can also nab the physical art book. For $75, you'll get that book signed by the entire cast and crew. If you've ever wanted to voice a character in a game, well, now's your chance. For a pledge of $300, you will get to do just that, plus you'll get all the previous rewards as well. NOTESTRUCK is a narrative coming-of-age episodic RPG where music is your only weapon. It tells the story of four troubled teens, Jen, Ollie, Chris and Lena, who after some mysterious goings-on in their hometown of Quarry Creek, find themselves in the faraway world of Cordia, full of magical creatures and dangerous enemies. Smash your buttons in time to the rhythm to defeat them as you try and find your way back home. I'll be honest, I almost overlooked NOTESTRUCK because of its blocky, Minecraft-like character design, but I'm so glad I took the time to watch the Kickstarter campaign video. This game looks awesome. It combines the action of a turn-based RPG with the pace and music of a rhythm game. With a big focus on music within the game, developer Luciano Candal has turned to Hernan Marandino to create a fantastic soundscape for the game. They have worked together to make the music integral to the game, making sure it transitions smoothly from one attack to the next. Luciano describes NOTESTRUCK as his passion project and a playable tribute to his teenage years. While the game looks really good so far, he's highlighted a few key areas where work needs to improve, and the fact that he's being open and honest about that speaks volumes to me. He's also realistic about the game's release date, towards the end of 2024, and about getting the game on consoles. It's currently only targeting a Steam release for PC and Mac, but I really hope he manages to find a publisher that can port it to the consoles, as this would be amazing on the Switch, or more likely by that time the Switch Pro. Now, good news for those who only want a copy of the game, there is an early bird tier limited to 500 people where you can get it for €15. Otherwise you're looking at €20, but you do get a few digital goodies with that, including digital wallpaper, ringtone and instruction booklet. If you love collecting pins or stickers, then have a look at the €55 tier, which also comes with postcard size prints and a copy of the NOTESTRUCK documentary, beta access, digital developer book, digital soundtrack and much more. If you really want to help fund this game in a big way, then the €500 tier will see you help design an NPC who will have dialogue within the game. You also get a print of your character signed by the team, plus all the other fun stuff from the previous tiers as well. That leads me to the last game in this episode, which is Lux Primora, a narrative-driven JRPG in a land filled with elemental magic. At the dawn of time, the Lady of Light created the four elements: fire, earth, water and air, and the game's four protagonists each have a strong connection to one of these four. In a similar manner to Avatar: The Last Airbender, or my own fantasy series, Spirits of Vengeance, the elements these characters are tied to influence their culture and also their fighting style. All four characters will develop over the course of the game as they embark on a journey to save the world. The developers of Lux Primora, Alphabet Soup Games, hope to challenge the conventions of the traditional JRPGs and make their games a bit more open and accessible, without the need for complex game mechanics or endless grinding and farming. One way they have done this is to create the Lumen Arena, found in the capital city of Lumen. Here players can take on combat challenges and level up rather than rely on random world encounters. The arena will be home to some combatants that will be designed by you guys as part of the Kickstarter campaign. And if you love fantasy, then you're going to fall in love with this game. To me, it comes across as the perfect blend of Zelda and Avatar: The Last Airbender, with elemental spirits, shrines and puzzles. Even in its early alpha state, Lux Primora oozes charm. The style is 3D top-down view, looks really nice, and the anime style characters really pop as they navigate this beautifully rendered world. Now, for a copy of the game on Steam, you're looking at a pledge of $25 Canadian, which is roughly around £15. However, for just $10 more, you get early access plus digital copies of the soundtrack and the art book. If you want to receive a physical copy of the art book, then make the pledge of $85 Canadian or more. This also gets you alpha access to the Battle Arena section of the game. Now, as mentioned earlier, you can design your own arena champion. If you pledge $3,500 Canadian, which is around £2,000, you get to work with the game's artist to bring your gladiatorial vision to life. Your character will also feature as an NPC in the game's storyline. Once it's created, you'll get a digital illustration and a physical art print of your final character, plus all the other rewards from the previous tiers. And now for a game to avoid. If the name Cecil Hotel sounds familiar, it's because it was recently the focus of a Netflix documentary, particularly focused on the tragic death of Canadian student Eliza Lam. Whoever owns Genie Interactive Games has decided that this would make a great game. Putting aside the fact that the game is in poor taste and looking to capitalise on the documentary, this Kickstarter project raised a lot of red flags from the get-go. First of all, the video is only 36 seconds long and claims to be gameplay. However, if you look closely, you'll see that someone has cropped the video to hide the character's name, which suggests to me that this gameplay footage might be lifted from elsewhere, although I haven't been able to identify it. Second, there is very little information about the developers. The project page was set up by someone called Tony Brown, who has no visible online trail or history with Kickstarter. Likewise, Genie Interactive Games say they're based in Santa Monica, but no one seems to have heard of them. Their website was set up on the same day as the Kickstarter launched, while their Twitter account was set up a mere 2 months ago. No mention of any actual names or who is in charge, all of which is a big red flag. Just to be clear, for legal reasons, I'm not saying this is a con, but I certainly would not advise you to back this game. That's all from me. As always, I'll be keeping an eye on the progress of all of the projects I've shown and helping them out by spreading the word on Twitter at Andrew Rainey and at kick_start_this. So please come follow me, share the video links and spread the word even further. If you can help out these developers, then please click on the project links in the comments to give them a pledge. If you can't afford to donate, I'm sure they would appreciate it if you'd share the links to their Kickstarter projects across all of your social media channels. Remember, if you love crowdfunding video games as much as I do and want to hear about exciting new campaigns, hit the subscribe and the alert buttons. I'm hoping to grow this channel and start using any funds to create a Kickstarter pot that will push developers over the finish line as and when they need it. And if you're someone who has just launched a campaign or you're about to, then please get in contact as I'm looking to expand the channel and interview developers about their crowdfunding journeys. Until next time.